Welcome back to How to Start Your City in 2021. I'm Socks Way Up, and last episode we worked on some high-rise buildings over here. We got the high density going, got some bridges and some other things going, and we're starting to also work on getting rid of this original industry area. We got to figure out a long-term solution for that. Part of the reason why I wanted to undo some of these buildings, which we got to be careful not to destroy our electricity connection, is because we want to today we want to look at industries DLC, and we're going to build out a forestry industry out in this area. It looks like we have plenty of resources here to do that, so that's the plan today, and let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start by getting the roads out this direction. So I do want to come across here, but you see we have an issue where we probably don't want the traffic to cross with the railroad. So what we're going to do is we're going to pause for a second. We're going to adjust the volume. We're going to turn down the game volume a little bit because that seemed obnoxious. I think that's a little bit better. Hopefully that's better. Actually, we're going to shut the music off because we don't want the music. But yeah, we're going to get rid of a little bit of this railroad. And we're going to come into, if we can remember where that is. Oh, see, this is where the game's a little silly. So we're going to want a cargo hub. So let's go ahead and temporarily place down a road right here. And just to unlock those features, we'll throw that there. We'll figure out exactly where we want that in a minute. But that should unlock these for us. So now let's come this way. We want to go, so we want to attach it like that, but we want to come here and page down. And I really didn't want it to go underground, but maybe that's what we do just to get us by, and maybe we'll play around with that a little bit later to see if we can get it. The idea I had there was to have it lower down so that we could then have the road go above it, or let's do this. Let's have the railroad go above it. That seems like a good compromise. That'll get us connected like that, and then the road's not gonna fit. Let's see. Yep, road's not gonna fit, so we'll temporarily get rid of that. Extend the road, and we'll have to do a little bit of jankiness there. Let's try to make that look a little bit better. Our curve tool. The road might be the problem. Let's get closer and then throw the curve tool. That did the trick. Okay, so that doesn't look horrible, but that's gonna get us the ability to get this road across the river. We're gonna come back with another angle like that. Not horrible. And then we're gonna kind of want to mimic this idea on this side. And so now we instantly need to, actually, I think we can probably get rid of that now that we unlocked it. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So we'll do the same here. Let's get the road to continue on, and then we will get the track to come on up. Let's go straight across. And that's not going to line up very good, but let's just see how it looks. It's not the best. We could probably make that better. I might do that a little bit off camera later. But now let's work on a little bit of a road layout and get the forest industry going. All right, before we get too far into the road layout, as I was starting to do, if we take a look at this view here, when we go into the districts and we select paint industry area, we can see where it is saturated with forest. So let's go ahead and just outline that whole thing so we know exactly where we can build this. Is that the biggest one? No, it's not. There we go. There we go. So now when we come into this mode, we can just click over here and see, okay, that's as far as we can go. Some other tricks I guess you could do if you really wanted to, I don't know, have a decent view of it. Ooh, that road shouldn't be here. This is vanilla. You could start like throwing down some of these cheaper roads to say, okay, that's on the edge. And we know this goes over here, so we could place that down on the edge and then do a little bit like that. And that should give us a good indication visually where we can and can't build this area out. So the next thing we'll want to do is want to bring this road in somehow and connect it. I think this might be an interesting little design where we can utilize that. I'm not sure about that angle, but we'll keep going and we'll give it a shot here. But now we want to grab our forestry main building and let's get that set down so we can unlock the other ones and take a look at, of what that gives us. So we can get a sawmill, some small tree plantations, and a small log yard. And those are going to be the level 1 or star 1, I guess. Yeah, level 1 forestry buildings. So let's go back into our garbage and industry tab and look at the extractor buildings first. So we only have this one open, so we could put down a few of these and just take a kind of a look at them in a second. And then we have our processing buildings, which is our sawmill, so we can take a look at that. And then storage wise, we have a small log yard. So let's put those down, get out of here, and then take a look at the buildings that we have. So these ones, we can come in here and change it to the different types of trees. This one seems to fit the map scheme, so let's go with that. And it matches, yeah, that matches all around. So next would be to kind of take a look at what that gives us. So to upgrade this, we need 120 or 150 workers. Capacity right now is 126. So what we'll want to do is obviously get electricity out here and get some water out here and then get that to a high enough level so we can start leveling this up. I'm going to do a little off-camera design and I'll come back and show you what we came up with. Okay, before I get too far, I want to kind of update you on what I'm doing here. I'm taking these industry roads and we'll probably upgrade. You can see, oh, we're using them right here as well. So these are one-way industry roads. So these cars or vehicles are gonna have to come in here and wrap around. And what I did was I looked at the area and saw the areas that weren't as green. And I was gonna put the buildings in that aren't extracting anything. So these are some warehouses that we're putting down. This one's gonna hold paper. This one's gonna hold timber. And if we do take a step back, I realize I didn't kind of explain this here. So we're producing some raw materials or raw products. We're basically just extracting trees. And right now we just have a sawmill so that can turn it into some of the timber. So that's why this arrow is lit up. So that's some output that we're gonna do. We wanna focus on just our own production. So we wanna keep this green and have enough of these plantations to keep that green. When we upgrade a little bit, we'll be able to get a paper mill and we'll be able to produce that as well. And then long term, if we look at the supply chain here, I think if we go in this way, it pops up. Where did that go? You can see here that we'll produce the paper and the timber, and then there's going to be a unique factory that will eventually unlock. And I think there might be two options, but we'll have to get to that point where we can get the unique factory and get this diamond tier, which really turns into a lot of money for the area. So let's keep going. So we move that out here, and then we also could say, you know, let's pull just like this secondary loop in here. And we'll take our sawmill for now. We're gonna place that in here, but we're gonna have it face one of those roads, so it's not facing that interior road. And then we're gonna also take the small shipyard or small log yard, and we're gonna move that over there as well. So these things aren't extracting anything. The plantations are doing that. And at this point, we're gonna upgrade this to a smaller road or a smaller industry road. And we're gonna come in here. Let's move one of them so we can get the scale. We're gonna start like that. And we're gonna take these dirt roads because I think it makes a nice visual appeal. And we're gonna turn off the guidelines so we can get this exactly where we want it. Let's move this a little bit, and then we can replace it. So let's turn those back on. So now we can come in here and let's have this attach all the way. Now let's move this facing the dirt road, like so. And then we'll come back into our industry tab, go back to Forest Industries, go back to the green little cog there. And we're gonna line these up, see how many we can fit, and potentially space them out a little bit more for some decorating. Let's do that. We're gonna have this one go right there, even that out. And that should allow us to space these a little bit more. These two middle ones are gonna touch, which I think will be good for the look. And they're all the same style. So now if we look on here, we should have plenty of jobs available. We have 264 available. So we're gonna get up to that. Productivity needs to get to 500. That's pacing for that. While we wait for that, let's do a little bit of decorating. So in here, we do have, go to the right option. We want everything. If we go all the way to the right, we do have some fences. So let's go ahead and separate things with their fences. And this just gives us an opportunity to kind of decorate a little bit. Take that all the way, space occupied. It's not what I wanted to do. I want to get that as close as possible. And this is a nice break from building, or I mean, you're still building, but you're doing a little bit of decorating and detailing while you're waiting for your buildings to upgrade. And that's what we're doing here. I don't know why that's not letting us go all the way there, but we'll deal with that. Actually, let's try it again. Let's see if we can get it to let us. Oh, we deleted the wrong thing. Easy enough to replace. And let's go back to our fence. Let's turn off guidelines and see if that helps more. It does. Okay, so now we can back this one out. And we're going to, with guidelines off, we have a little more control. Let's turn angle on though. So that'll give us a good angle still. Then we can get that all the way up there like we wanted. We'll do it, go ahead and undo that one, whoops. Something like that, not exactly what we wanted, so let's redo it. And again, we're kind of buying some time until the building does upgrade for us. Like that. On this side, we probably can't sneak that in because of where it is. We can fix some of those. I might do that off camera and get a little bit better. So that should give us plenty of productivity. So we're at 229 right now, and we have enough jobs. So that should get us to that tier. And you can see right now our negative profit, that'll take care of itself eventually. We do have some of these policies we could put in place. Improve logistics, if we can get that to hover over. Packing and scheduling of the deliveries is more efficient due to the advanced inventory and vehicle tracking system. Increase the storage capacity of the extractors and processing buildings by 20%, but the upkeep is increased by 10%. I click that on. Improve supervising, it just costs a little bit more. It makes it, increases the worker's health. Why not? And advanced automation always seems to be a good thing to do. Increase productivity output by 10%, increase building costs by 10%. That's fine. We have a surplus right now of 6,200, almost 6,300, so we're fine with that. But we get that going there where we'll just build all of our extraction buildings out here while we have this good area that's nice dark green for us. And then we can build like our factories and warehouses out here. You can see this is already getting pretty full. And we could probably do another sawmill right there as well to kind of help out with the productivity of that. So let's do that. And because this is balanced, it should deliver things to it. So what we're having happen here is they're going to pick up the output of the materials, and they're going to either take it to this storage log or one of these buildings to use the products as needed. And then our warehouse is going to store our Timber right now, it's not going to store any paper yet, but eventually it can. And we have that set to balanced. So that'll aim to keep it half full. We could do empty where it would constantly sell it, but we can't really sell these. I don't think we can export these, can we? Cannot be imported, but it can be exported. So we could put that to empty and start making a little bit more money on that because it'll try to keep that empty and it'll start exporting those. But those will be more important when we get later on into the higher levels of the forest industry, when we do have the ability to have that specialized building to use the paper and the timber together to make something much more needed for the town, for the commercial areas to use. All right, so we got level 2 unlocked, which opened up a biomass pellet plant, a furniture factory, which looks like it possibly is the specialty building. We'll take a look at that. Sawdust storage, forestry worker barracks, and also the small tree sapling field. So let's take a look at that in game. Let's put it, let's give it at ×3. We want that productivity to keep going. Let's also take a look at what we need. We need 1,500 productivity and 350 workers. So the worker capacity might start being a problem. We might have to add some residents, but we'll see that as we go. But running ×3 is going to allow this resource to be produced fast enough for us to keep upgrading. And let's take a look at what we got. So let's look at the green buildings, the extractor buildings. So we have these sapling fields. Let's go ahead and mimic what we did. Where's our dirt road? So we're going to figure out the distance for those first. Let's go here, grab those. We're gonna put it right there just to give us the width of it. They are squares, so we should be fine with that. And let's follow our pattern. And we'll go like this, we'll move it, aim it that way. Grab some more of these, try to space them out in a similar fashion. So we'll have to move one of those already. That, we'll move that one. It looks like the size of those were a little bit different, so we can move this one and we'll have a gap. Nice gap on both sides. Doesn't completely match, but we're okay with that. And then let's see the options that we can do with this as well. It is a greenhouse, or we can just make it a field. I personally think the field matches what we're doing a little bit better. We'll get those all upgraded. It's getting pretty busy out here. So let's see, now we have, let's look at here, producing 38 tons. That's probably gonna increase. We're making a profit now. We have enough workers already because of that. Now it's just to get the productivity up. But in the meantime, let's look over here. Let's go ahead and delete that because I want to kind of mimic what we did on the other side. We're gonna extend that out. So let's take a look at our district. Let's bump it all the way to the end of our city. And we're gonna bring a road up. Let's see, what's the distance here? 1050. 1050 right there. We'll bring this up. We'll figure out where to connect that long term. Oh, actually, we wanted to kind of do this distance, didn't we? 1550. Let's see if we can do that. 1550. No, 1050 is what I wanted. I am silly. Do it like that, and then we're gonna go to the smaller roads, and we're gonna just mimic this little pattern that we had here. Let's get our guidelines back up so we can see if we do that straight. Yep, right there. But we want to upgrade that so they do a loop still. So they come in here and go right, and they can loop back around. And ooh, we hit level 3 already. Let's get caught up here. Let's get caught up. We'll go to our yellow buildings. The thing that we opened up was the pellet press. So both of these are giving us, this one's giving us paper. And it's gonna fit perfect. Look at that. Let's see if we can move it just a little bit. Nope, okay. Yep, right there in the middle. So this is gonna output paper, which now gives us both of our specialties there. And let's go back in here and see what we have else opened. We have another storage where we can just, we can use it for storage and make it look kind of nice. So we could just throw those down like that. And then another lumber yard. Let's put that down so that everyone can see them. Move that just a hair over. That's too far. Like that. So now we got a nice little warehouse slash factory area here, and we're extracting a lot of material on this side. And we're already running out. What are we doing? Not enough buyers. That's fine. That'll take care of itself. And let's go back to, now we can do the medium ones. So we could do another row here. Let's take a look first at where we're at worker wise. We got to get to 550, so we're close, and productivity is kicking. So we're already at level 3. We just got 2 more to go. And let's take a look at our zones. We got plenty of area still to work with. This was a 760, so let's go out 760. We're gonna repeat our pattern here, making this kind of symmetrical. But with our industry road connected like that. And potentially we'll clean up some of this and make these roads look a little bit better at the end, but we'll see. We're learning. Learning what we want here. Oops. Go a little farther with that. Oh. That's kind of sad. Extend this one and see if that'll let us connect. It does. Okay. Little tricks there. Now let's go back with our mediums. And these ones are going to fit a little bit differently. But look at how that fits in there. That is nice. And then we could also come on this side if we want a ton of productivity here. Do something like that. This road's not big enough, but let's also change these. Kind of an ugly forest industry but it matches the theme. I mean, we could use these as the other trees, but I think this does match a lot better. Let's go with that, and we look at our unique factories. We now have a furniture factory, and we also have a printing press. So we could do both of them, but let's let it upgrade completely. We'll find an area for that because those don't have to be put in this area. We can put those wherever we want. So let's let it run. We're getting close, so we'll be back when we hit level 4. All right, we did it. We hit level 4. We opened up the engineered wood plant, the soft paper factory, the wood chip factory, the forest maintenance building, and our large tree sapling field. So if we take a look here, most of our output is going to the middle. They're just selling the raw material. So that means we don't have enough paper mills, and we don't have enough of the timber mills or timber factories either. So let's take a look at what that unlocked though. Go back to forestry. So we could start using these larger ones. Out here, I don't know that we're gonna need them. We got a lot of productivity, but let's put one down just so that you can see it. So it's just a bigger size one. Is that the right one? Yeah. It's just a little bit bigger than these ones. And what I do like about it is it has the building in the middle. So for decoration, for design purposes, those are nice ones to mix in so it doesn't just look like fields out here. They're nice to have for sure. But let's go ahead and come over here. Let's go with our industry road. Let's bring that out. We're going to connect this up, make a complete square. And we're going to continue some of these one-way roads as well. On out like that. I don't think that was straight, but we're gonna live with it. We're gonna bring this one's not happy with that. There we go. Not straight at all. Let's go that way, and then we'll upgrade that. Keep that one way, that'll help traffic a little bit. Now let's take a look at these new buildings that we have unlocked. We already used one of these, but now we have the engineered wood one, which will give us more timber. What does that give us? Yeah, more of the plain timber. And then we go back in here and we have more storage, which we don't really need, but we could also use, I thought we had another paper one to open up. Am I losing my mind? Industry overview. We're getting there. We have enough jobs available. It's gonna take a little bit, but yeah, let's go back in here and let's take a peek. Oh, here we go. Sawmill, we have the biomass plant. I thought we used that already, didn't we? Didn't we put that here? Yes, we did. Okay. And then we have the engineered wood plant, which is the one we just used. I think that was the new one, besides some of these storage ones, which are just kind of nice for extra storage, and they look pretty nice. Let's add some of those down there like that. Yeah, going good here. And then let's take a look, because we have a decent amount of area here. We don't have to place these unique factories in the forest area, but we can since this is where we're working today. So you can see these ones are going to want both materials and plenty right there. So once this gets up and gets full, we're going to see a huge bump in our income. Same with this side. Oh, this one wants plastics. We don't have that. So let's get rid of that building. We'd have to create a different type of industry that generated plastics. Some of those unique factories need multiple industries, and that is one of them. And it shows us up there. I could have seen that. But we'll go with just the furniture factory because we can make furniture out of just trees, apparently. So we're going to do that. And now we're just waiting for enough people to get jobs and enough resources to get filled. And it looks like potentially we might have to grow the city a little bit to pull that off. Or we could come over here and say, we don't need this industry anymore. And potentially those jobs will then jump over to the forest industry. All right, we got it going. We got all the way up to level 5, which opened up the pulp mill, the modular house factory, and the large tree plantation. We're not going to use any of those, but we just wanted to get it up to level 5 for this video and kind of give you a rundown on how to do that. One of the things, or some of the things that I did to do that, was we got rid of most of the industry over here. We got a little bit that's kind of just holding on to the electricity, getting it to jump into this other area, and we can solve that probably in the next episode. We'll finish cleaning this up, find a new place for our power and our recycle bins or recycle centers to kind of give them their isolated area, so we can then turn this into more residential and commercial. Looks like some of our death care needs to be taken care of, so we'll have to do that soon. And yeah, and then we added a little bit of houses here, so we're starting to build out that other high density across the river. That's going to help this really finish this area off with some high density. But that's how it turned out. That's how it finished. Hope you got some insight on how to build a forestry industry in Cities Skylines with no mods and no custom assets. We made it as pretty as we could. We could have spent more time doing some detailing. I might do that off camera and show it at the beginning of the next episode, but I want to thank everyone for joining. And this one ran a little long again. I think this will probably be about the average length of these videos moving forward. Thanks for joining. These are going to be coming out weekly at this point. I'm going to try to do them every Wednesday, and I'll catch you on the next one.